Koramana gami bonye haraj cooperative ber korinwago 777 kudi ana ko ni ti kadi varieties apola papat ame wana char kana char korni ram gammo gi mi ya kana te binu chat eto magoba me ana nuo en magoba no en ken konya me pur konya na me chulo kwan magoba me ana nuo en na me en diegi na me nertum tikacha ber magoba me ana nuo kom chat kori bon nye raj kiri dira mana bil nu bon nye raj me pur en magoba da tia nu tia duong total magoba ken ame wa no timu ana chala ponye bera ponyu pur tikere jame catering service ame ti hot kan to will jame me tedo tie plastic chairs tie carpet tie kids me boli shap dang tie me wanu bolo dang community wakan wan konyo wan ko keti upa wa idha chan nyukuch kana kena chan tie nyu wele mogo me kukuti ye upa wa wan to utedo aka chiente me upa wa chia wan woti keti ta chao woti keti ta chao ka me mora me pe ha me mor tie nyu me chulu kwan en timo ngo en binu deno wan to konye te utimo ngo te chulu kwan kun duogu chiene cha kedi ngo ke interest so chieni woti nya woti nya board members ite cha group kito eno da ke cha mora kom ni chwar fe jo kwer ho tien pera wara kwa gi nor bon ngator so ya yo mi nya shel ke pe mo hani ngar shel pe mo habin aka jo angwen ti primary kacha
Uhuru and partners, that's Goldstone Consulting, NTV Uganda, Bank of Uganda, Spark TV, Busara Center for Behavioral Economics, the Cooperator Magazine, and Liberty Life Assurance have come together to create the first ever Coop360 Innovations Award, which is focusing on stimulating innovation and advancing innovation amongst cooperatives in Uganda. As you may appreciate, Uhuru Institute is a social business that is focused on mindset change and poverty alleviation. And for us to be able to do that constructively, we identified cooperatives as the vehicle that would enable us to deliver that. And particularly this innovation award stems from a recent research that we did, which was interrogating how the principles, adhering to the principles and the values of cooperatives contributes to their resilience. And through a series of indicators that we developed through research, innovation is one of those indicators of resilience. And our research concluded that a number of cooperatives in Uganda were not innovative. Looking at cooperatives and the role that they have to play in Uganda's national development, as actually clearly delineated in our national development plan, we thought that if we ignore the aspect of innovation in cooperatives, then we can as well go and rest, knowing that our development indicators as a country are not going to be met. The Innovations Award this time round has focused on 4 areas. The first one being how cooperatives are innovating around welfare, membership welfare. You could talk about health, you could talk about the education, you could talk about things to do with entertainment, sports, which oftentimes people who are capitalist or money-driven sort of ignore. And yet, as you know, again, cooperatives are social enterprises they do not only address the financial needs of their members, but they also go into looking at the social and the cultural developmental needs of their members. So the Innovations Award, in looking through that, would like to align cooperatives, not to forget that core definition that they bear, which is to look at the holistic needs and aspirations of the members.
Switch on from there, utilize, you put, so this is the gas, what we do.
So the second element that we have looked at in the Innovations Award is climate smart solutions that are enabling us to deal with the challenges we have today. And so we have looked at what cooperatives in different sectors are doing to actually adopt those climate smart solutions. The idea is that cooperatives, because of their multiplier effect, because of their footprint across different sectors, if they are organized and they appreciate their role in protecting, conserving the environment, then their business solutions would be done in a manner that actually enables us to achieve that. So the third thing that we looked at is ICT solutions for business efficiency and competitiveness. I don't have to explain this to any Ugandan, because really the world is ICT. Data is where the big money is. But more so, whether you look at communication, right now people are developing robots, for manufacturing and all that, you can put your hand on. So cooperatives cannot be those entities that ignore ICT for development. So again, we have looked to see what innovative solutions around technology that is improving business efficiency. And lastly, the area we looked at is communication and marketing. This is big. Everyone has to tell their story. And if cooperatives don't tell that story from their perspective, someone will tell the story for them. And that story could mean that someone undermines what you stand for, or someone puts words that do not really benefit your business.
In order to achieve cooperative competitiveness, we innovated the Coop360 Innovations Award, so that the Innovations Award can promote innovations among cooperatives, learning among cooperatives, and competitiveness among cooperatives. Because for many cooperatives, people are doing business the same way we did it in the past, and yet the world is becoming very, very competitive, especially with digitalization and globalization. You are now, if you put something on the internet, you are now competing with the whole world, not just Uganda here. So they must learn to become very competitive. That's why if you went around, the team that went around the country, you see that there was a spirit of competition growing among the cooperatives that took place in this Innovations Award process.
We launched actually in September, and then through September to December, we had cooperatives apply for these areas that I've described, and we received 38 applications. Out of the 38 applications, only 23 were successful. It's these 23 cooperatives that moved to the next stage, which was verification. As you know, right now, a lot of people are not quite honest. Someone could send you an application and tell you you've innovated something, and then you go and find there's no innovation. So the judging committee has had to travel across the country, right from Kanungu to Nebi to Bukwa, some places that most Ugandans may have not even been to, just identifying, documenting, and recognizing the different initiatives that cooperatives applied for.
Visiting cooperative by cooperative to validate on the existence of the innovations that were registered. The assignment of this team that went out to validate was to confirm the area in which you applied, whether the innovation is aligned and whether it is existing, because there's some places that we went and they were still in ideation. They were still in the process of working towards the innovation. The team then set off, starting from the western part of this country, Kanungu. In the western and central, we had a total of 5 cooperatives. When we moved to Eastern Uganda, we had a total of 8 cooperatives. And then in Lango sub-region, we had 8 cooperatives and 1 participant from the West Nile. All these having valid ideas and innovations which need to be amplified and some be supported on how to make them more sustainable and more viable. That has then culminated into pitching. After the validation, the businesses have pitched or presented their now innovation to a team of judges, causing this to be even much more difficult to identify or isolate one who is better than the other, because some of them, especially those that fell in the same category, Climate Smart, we had over 9 cooperatives, and they are literally having same ideas but uniquely executed. Their approach in working on them, each was a little bit unique, that then was able to be presented to the panel of judges. Likewise, the area of cooperative development, member development, and then the technology. And that initial pitching led to having 6 or the best 2 cooperative in every category. The best 2 in cooperative member development, the best 2 in the climate smart category, and the best 2 in the IT or technology category. Those are the ones that then move on to the next level of the grand finale. We saw innovations that blew our minds off. People are climbing up the hills, the mountains, and they're able to do farming. They're able to plant and are able to harvest amidst the tough climates, the tough land topologies. People have positioned themselves to be resilient. And so they're thinking of resilient seeds, they're thinking of resilient products themselves. For the first time, I got to know that an Irish potato can be preserved for a period of 6 months to 9 months. Here in Kampala, we think that after 3-4 days, it will be wasted. No, they've gone out to look out for a variety. So these people traveled all the way to Kabale, identified an Irish, worked around that variety to make it more resilient. And so, even after the season, they know that they can keep their seed, but they also can keep the potato, which is used, of course, the wedge that is used for eating. And we saw water coming, people being able to utilize the gravity of land, and they are irrigating without having to buy a pressure or water pump. We have had to climb up mountains for this water reservoir, 10,000 liters capacity, up on the hill that almost took everyone's breath out. Yet these men and women have committed themselves, and they're saying, you must come and see the things we are doing different. And climbing up there, when we saw the water, we were wondering, how did it come? And we wanted to verify, is there a pump or not?
Cooperatives are really innovative. They are doing their best. I also did our best to give them what we thought they could do to improve their pitches come pitch day.
Now, this is not just an award process. As Uhuru and Goldstone, plus other partners like Busara, we have been very deliberate about ensuring we build capacity along the way. Whether you're talking about pitching skills or just being able to communicate your problem, having cooperatives understand what it means to be on the stage and communicate your value proposition. This has been very, very, very useful to the cooperatives and ourselves. And we've also appreciated the gaps that they have. And so as we develop our different capacity building initiatives, we will have been informed through this process what cooperatives need most to be able to be impactful and to drive this country's national development.
There is work being done, and gone are the days where these cooperatives were not structured. They've got, they are fully registered, recognized by government, but even their structures internally through having an AGM, the boards and management, they are doing a tremendous work in this country. We want to call upon our partners and all those in the communities that had not yet thought of joining a cooperative in your area. Look out for the opportunities. Join in these cooperatives and have something you're doing for yourself. And who knows, you may have a testimony yourself soon in this land.
Our dream is that we turn this into an annual event or an annual process, because it just goes beyond just giving people money. It's a mobilization tool to get more and more cooperatives active and doing business together. It is a learning tool and training tool, capacity building tool for the cooperatives. It is a marketing tool, selling their brands out there so that the potential investors know them and can do business with them. It is also a very good process for growing the vision of the cooperative movement. So in our view, we would like to see this become an annual event. That means we would like to see it even grow in the size of the awards in terms and the variety, the different types of the awards over time. This is the starting point, the first ever award we are doing this year. But we hope that once it grows beyond this point, we will mobilize resources as much as possible and partner with as many more partners as possible and grow this beyond the limited resources we are putting this year. So this is a big learning process even for us, so that we can from next year grow into something bigger and better every time.
But also we expect cooperatives to actually know their role in contributing to Uganda's own Global Innovation Index. I must say that as a country, we are not in a good place. As at 2023, Uganda ranked 121st out of 132 countries across the globe. And one of the areas that came out as very meek or very poor is that we have very low innovation outputs. What do I mean by that? If you look at the number of patents that are being registered in Uganda, or creative ideas that have turned into actual innovations, Ugandans are quite creative actually, but most of their creativity stops in the mind and talking, and the actual implementation of what they've dreamed is not being felt. So through this process, cooperatives can situate themselves to actually see Uganda getting better rankings, because then if we have more organized businesses being able to dream and do what they've dreamt about, then we can be sure that Uganda will have ingenious ideas, products that are globally recognized, that are patented. We also want to be like Elon Musk going to the moon. We also want to see cooperatives pioneering different industrial products and driving development as they did in the 1970s and the 80s. And they're doing that right now. So this Innovation Award is surely showing us what great stuff is happening out there.